So anyone want to talk about the Kung Fu 1560? Anybody have any comments on the Kung Fu 1560? Anybody have watched my video today on what is Wing Chun actually working or Kung Fu actually working? And if you watch that video of the does Wing Chun or Kung Fu is working, you will see that if you watch that, okay, Dick is here saying that you present a couple of General Chi's momentum play in the book. What can you tell about the rest? What do you mean, Dick? I don't understand what you mean. The issue right now, when we talk about Wing Chun works or Kung Fu works or not, the problem today is people is asking a very general questions. And because of these general questions, it really doesn't mean much. However, it is for sure can raise out a lot of questions and get a lot of hit. It's just like all those commentary on this, a commentary on that. As in this morning's YouTube, I share that one need to know what is one talking about. Say if a guy who using straight punch to defeat his opponent, will you think that that straight punch work? That's how serious it is. Because today many people talk, I guess, I think, I believe, the guy who teach Kung Fu do that. The guy who critiques Kung Fu do that. That's why I always say, whoever critique Kung Fu and the guy who teach Kung Fu, both are really do not think clearly. If you don't know, how can you teach? If you don't know, how can you critics? So that's the problem. Okay, so Dick said there are 32 momentum play in the book, but you translate some of them. Well, I'm not translating in that book. I'm presenting what is the General Qi Ji Guang presenting. I'm not translate like words by words. And as what I mentioned in I think 2 weeks ago in this Q&A, there is no way to tell you everything about the 32 momentum in one book. So in Kung Fu 1850, the Kung Fu 1560, that 6 momentum type and momentum combinations is to cover the common denominator or the general topic so that people understand what is going on. So that is very critical to know what I'm writing, not just reading my book and praise me. Okay, I don't like that. Read whatever it is. The reason why I read, I translate, the reason why I write the book 1560 is to share with the world what is going on there. So if one is not careful on reading things and just go scan through the books, of course they will never see anything. So this is a huge problem today. Everybody don't think properly, don't think accurately. So without a proper, accurate thinking, it is a mess. So when people ask me always, Wing Chun actually works or not? Kung Fu actually works or not? I usually smile and ask them, is your mind working or not? It get to that already. So like it or not, the guy who teach Kung Fu and the guy who critiques Kung Fu have no idea what you're talking about. So they are just look at this, oh, this impressed me, that impressed me. And yet, I ask everybody, so what is Wing Chun? What is Wing Chun? What is Wing Chun? What is the uniqueness of Wing Chun? What is the functional training of Wing Chun? So when you say Wing Chun works or not, what does it mean? So there is a lot of education need to be done, because if the mind is not clean, it's not clear, it's not sharp, now you will not learn anything. Seriously. Like yesterday, I shared that momentum play with the 1850s Wing Chun. The example. If you don't play that way, how are you playing in a real game? If you don't handle all those momentum, different type, in different direction, what do you do? It's just like, oh, I do this technique, that techniques, the same techniques. If the same techniques do not have all other informations, we really don't know what it is. You can say the same, the 1960 Wing Chun call it Hun Sao, the 1850s Wing Chun call it Ao Sao, and then everybody doing the same thing, but do you know how to handle the momentum there? If you don't know what it is, period. So it is a problem today that we need to get our mind straight before we look into things. If we don't know what it is, how can we ask? How can we critique? So like yesterday, I shared that the 1850s Wing Chun. If you don't have the body condition or the recycling momentum, how are you going to do that? And even if you do that, if you know that the one techniques compare with the general Qi Ji Guang Q model, where are you? You are just one in the 4 aspects. It's just level 2. You don't even have level 3 where you be able to go for the 3-dimensional play, the level, angle, and the distance play. Not to mention when people pull on the momentum combination at you, how can you handle it? So any art, okay, instead of I look at this guy, that guy, or this guy who represent Wing Chun or who represent whatever, you look at that guy and you look at it. Does he have the capability to do the momentum combination handling? If he doesn't, that means he doesn't know the art. And you are looking to the system. Does the system have that? If the system do not have up to the momentum combination, you know that system never works in the real life. So when you ask Wing Chun, does Wing Chun work? Wing Chun actually works or not? You look into the system. What is that system present to you? And in the past hundreds of years, you look into the system. Can those so-called Tai Chi system works? Does he have the combination, momentum combination play? Does he train in that? The answer is very clear. And then if you making use of, say, Thai boxing, if I go, if I go train Thai boxing or Western boxing, and then I'm using the Thai boxing or the Western boxing combination, and then I add in one what do you call that, chain punch. What is that? Is that Wing Chun? Sorry, technically that's not Wing Chun. That is Western boxing, because it's using the Western boxing's combination. So that's how clear it has to be. Say if you train in judo, jiu-jitsu, but you're using Western boxing combination. So is it still jiu-jitsu, judo? Of course it's not. So today, if you look around, even like Sanda and everything, the Chinese Sanda, everything, it is not Chinese Kung Fu. Why? Because the combination is you're using the Western boxing combination. So can you fool people? Can you fool people if they really investigate or research in this thing? Of course you cannot, because people can look at you, hey, that combination is not your combinations. Right? So that is a problem here. And whether a system works or not, you want to look at, so what is your combination? Do you have the combinations? If you don't have the combination, that means your system don't work. Sorry. You look at the wrestling, Western wrestling. Does it have a combination? Olympic wrestling. Judo, it has the combinations. Western boxing have the combination. Thai boxing have the combination. Kyokushin have the combinations. Whatever do not have a combination doesn't work. Okay? And adding other thing into one systems, as I put it in the Kung Fu 1560s, it is called dishonest. It is not your art. So this has to be really clear, and it is very crystal clear now with the General Qi Ji Guang Q model. Just ask a question: do you have the combinations, momentum combination train? You do or you don't? If your system doesn't have it, that means you don't have a system. Okay. And one thing I want to share with you guys. You know why it's so screwed up in Chinese Kung Fu in the past 100 years? Let me tell you why. See, disregard of who looking into the Chinese Kung Fu, it always have the 6 core elements. Namely, the body, the mind, the breathing, the energy, the strength, handling, and the momentum. You always have these 6. Okay. Now, sure, I coined this 6, but I'm not creating all the 6. I coined this 6 because after I study the entire thing, I do a summarize. So 613.3 is a summarize for those who like to learn. And I create that for summarize. Why? Because every element have its rule to play, how to play that element. The body, using today's words, you need to know every joints of yours, the stability or mobility handling of that every joints. When you come to your mind, you need to know about the awareness, about the thinking and intention. What are they different? When you go to breathing, you need to at least know the lower abs breathing or the chest breathing, the panting, and all sort of breathing phenomenon. When you go to strength, you need to know how to handle those strength. When you go to energy, you need to know what is energy. Okay, chi, energy, right? Now, a really big, massive screw up today is this. You look at all the so-called internal art. Okay, everybody is talking about energy. It's like they have no clue on it is a strength, it is an energy, is this a breathing? They have no clue. They're just saying everything is chi. Okay, everything is internal. When it comes to momentum, you look at all those, there is no momentum combination. So if you look at that using a Q model to screen them, a Q model to check them, they have none. Now, energy. What is energy? Energy, in comparison, it is really simple. Energy, it is just like your fuel line of your car. The fuel line, the line to transport your fuel within your car. That's all. That is energy, that's chi. And then there's the breathing. You need to know how to handle that breathing. If you don't know how to handle that breathing, that means your fuel line, your energy line will have problem. Now, your strength is like you're pushing a wall. Okay, so your strength, the big term fa jing, is just like you're pressing a wall. So how you handle your strength, that is jing. Okay, and of course you have to have energy. If your body is weak, so weak that you couldn't even push the wall, that means you don't have chi. Okay, now if you can breathe, how can there be energy there? And how can you push the wall or push something? It's like the car. You don't have the fuel. How are you going to drive the car? And then the momentum is like you're moving this car. The car is moving. So chi is like your fuel. And the strength is like the gear, which is working together to drive each other. Momentum is that car moving. And of course, the fuel lines have its own rule there. The gear have its rule there. How the car move have its rule there. Now, when you train in some Kung Fu, especially the so-called internal Kung Fu, if you have no idea how to handle the fuel line, the gear, and moving the car, and you say that you just mimic a sense, a posture or a motion, then you will get energy. You can get internal, you get secret, you use your mind. Really, what are you talking about? If you couldn't even straighten that thing out to teach your student, what are you teaching? Not to mention, how are you going to apply it in the momentum combinations? So now you can see it's the entire thing is a mess. And then when the thing come to the West, people say, oh, you have this Kai He, open and close, and then sing, and then rise. Well, what is that for? Or open and close, as you read in Wing Chun Inception. Clearly, I share with you. It's about only your handling of the body and your breathing and your energy. When it comes to momentum, it is contracting and extending. You want to shoot out. That's as explained in the Restricting Wing Chun. So this is the part of the core element from the body, you know, like your body joint mobility and so forth, up to your strength. That's why you have this. That's why you have all these lines, all this synchronization. Now, if you want to talk about Qi, you do not verify with your heart rate variability. How do you know? How do you prove that you know? You know how to handle your mind and your breathing and your body and your Qi. If you don't have a scientific verification, how can you do that? Well, obviously you can. So it will be, oh, who says so? My grandmaster is this guy, that grandmaster is that guy. And then because of my grandmaster is the top grandmaster, I got my Kung Fu is good. Same thing with the momentum. If you don't know how to handle the momentum, the momentum, and then know what is it in terms of functional training, how can you even move your body? So this is all the issue, and that's the real world. So it's not about I beat you, you beat me, I can beat you, and then that means what I do works. I can beat you maybe because I'm more aggressive than you, or you can beat me maybe because you are younger and you're born and more healthier. So are you really sure that you have the momentum combination handling, your different uniqueness of your momentum handling developed? Or you just go do that doing the aggressiveness? Until this thing is really clear, we really don't know what it is. It's just like Xu Xiaodong. When you talk about Wing Chun, there's his perception. And now I share with you. I show you with this and the Kung Fu 1560. When people say, no, the Qi Ji Guang is only using spear, go direct because it's a war. Well, today in this morning, I just share with you. Qi Ji Guang's opponent or enemy at that time, the Japanese pirate, who are they? They are Japanese warrior. What are they practice at that time? Jiu-jitsu. So with the samurai sword and with all this grappling stuff, check in the history. So I hope that this can clear out. Okay, this threatened thing as what it is by definition, clear descriptions and clear details instead of putting our 5 cents in and where we really don't know what it is, and it creates a mess. So that's why I said today, those who teaching Kung Fu is fake. Those who keeping critics in YouTube is also fake. What do you know? Say you say Wing Chun. Are you serious? This a straight line thing will work according to General Qi Ji Guang? Well, it works. And are you serious? What type of momentum combination are you using? And your momentum combination is actually related to your functional training. A Western boxer will not have the same functional training like a wrestler or a judoka because it's a different stuff. You train differently. So you said, if is judo works? Sure, it works. It works in its area. Is Western boxing works? Sure, it works in this area. And everybody have a good momentum combination there. But out of the area, well, it works. There's a question mark. Say you get those who practice judo to fight. Well, it works. Or you can see today, most people just go study some Western boxing. So there's a reality. If we are not straightened on what we are doing, that means we actually are cheating. We really don't know what we are talking about. I hope this clear up thing with you. You know, if it is an iPhone, you sell an iPhone, you call it an iPhone. If it is an Android phone, you call it an Android phone. Don't call it something else. Putting a different label, but you actually like the wine, have a different type of wine, but putting a different type of label. That is not proper. So if you say that a Wing Chun guy who have this chain punch and he go learn Thai boxing, and then he go learn BJJ, and he go learn Western boxing, and then when he fight, and once a while he use a chain punch, whether he gets somebody or not, you call that Wing Chun? Can that be Wing Chun? Compare with the Western boxing. Did Western boxing do those? Or Western boxing just do things Western boxing way? Look at the Kyokushin. Did they do the other things and call it Kyokushin? Look at the 1964 when Mas Oyama fighting the Thai boxer. Mas Oyama is using big time karate. Why? You look at the techniques compared with the techniques in the Okinawan Bubishi. Okay. You go read Mas Oyama's book, This is Karate. You look at how it's not just a striking or kicking. There's many things there, grappling and so forth. And you look at that with compare with the Okinawan Bubishi. You know they are telling the truth. Okay. So right now, I bring in the General Qi Ji Guang chapter 14 for Chinese Kung Fu. That chapter 14 is like Okinawan's Bubishi for karate. If we don't follow that chapter 14, forget about it. You cannot say, oh yeah, you know, this is Kung Fu, I created this Hendrix Kung Fu. I mean, even Master Oyama don't do that, okay? So that's the reality. Dick, it is not true that all karate will import the kicks from French Savate. It is not. I am a Kyokushin. I know that is not Savate. Okay, so let's get this thing clear. You look into Bubishi, Okinawa Bubishi. That is the reference. We must not just accuse people without an evidence. And you say Kyokushin have Thai boxing kick, like General Qi Ji Guang. His Miao Dao have evolved from the Japanese samurai sword. Then that is proper. But if you say that all karate has imported the kicks from French Savate, then that is not true. We shouldn't do those kind of stuff. We need to, again, as what I said, you need to present evidence, solid written evidence before we speak, or else we are only contributing to mess. So Chris here say, many are frustrated. They don't have momentum handling. So they mix things into Wing Chun like kickboxing or pressure test to figure out something they don't have. Okay, Chris, good question. Now you got a problem, a serious problem here. If you don't have a momentum handling, that means you don't have it. Because if you can steal people's momentum handling, you don't even have to talk about it. The minute you go into fighting, that thing show up. Okay? And also pressure test. Reality is, if I'm using Kyokushin when I'm doing sparring, I subject to a type of pressure. If I'm using Wing Chun 1850 in sparring, I subject to another type of pressure. Do you guys buy that? If you don't, let me share with you. Because if I am doing Wing Chun 1850 in a fight, I need to get my opponent to handle them in the short strike uniqueness 1850 Wing Chun. I have a different type of challenge compared with if I using Kyokushin to face my opponent. Well, both is pressure test. That's why I question everybody today in other video. Pressure test. What pressure test you're talking about? Is a pressure test like I want to get into the zone 1, into the short strike zone, or the pressure test that because I use high kick that I might subject to takedown, or I might subject to grappling. People rush in for grappling. Different pressure, right? So people talk about, oh, you don't spar. Well, what do you mean by spar? Does it mean that if I practice Wing Chun, I just go sparring with whatever, then it's legit for me to say whatever I'm Wing Chun? No, it's not. Because I spar, I spar what am I? Again, this is back to General Qi Ji Guang. What are you testing when you're sparring? When you do pressure test, what are you testing? For me, personally, I have to tell you, am I testing the Kyokushin momentum combination, or I am testing the 1850s Wing Chun when I'm sparring? And both give me different type of pressure. So that is technical. It's not that I'm the grandmaster. No, it is what it is. Until you go this, how can you know what is what? So I hope that this is clear for everybody. Admit it, if we don't have momentum combination, we don't have the art. Period. Okay? Admit it. Until we admit it, we are not going to be progressing. You take Western boxing, momentum, the minute, the second you start fighting, people can see you. You cannot lie, you cannot cheat. Okay, so hopefully this is clear. So Chris, so if they don't have the Q model, they find other way to make it work, but it is not Wing Chun. Okay, Q model got nothing to do with the Wing Chun or Shaolin short strike or any art. Q model is just the general Qi Ji Guang specification. It write down in the specs. If you want to fight, you better have this. Right? You better have to have functional training. And general Qi Ji Guang's criteria is even is applied to Western boxing. If you don't have the functional training, you cannot do it. That's L1, the level 1. The second level, if you don't have the aspects of the Western boxing, the hook, the jab, the cross, you can fight. The third one, the three-dimensional, and that you see that already. Western boxings do not have the short strike zone, grappling zone, and the ground fighting. It doesn't have that. Okay, momentum combinations. You can see Western boxing have a lot of momentum combinations. So that gives a snapshot of analysis of a martial art. What is the strength and weakness and advantage and disadvantage? Now, there's Q model. Now you look into the Wing Chun. Do you have the functional training? If you claim that Wing Chun is a short strike art, close body, do you have the functional training? Do you have the aspects like the Western boxing, the cross, the jab, the hook? Do you have the three-dimensional play, level, distance, angle? Do you have the combination? You look into the system. Now that is not my standard. That's general Qi Ji Guang standard. So for him, he's trained his army. He look at the other guy. He know what it is, and that's why he be able to use the 32 momentum type to defeat them, because they know right away what is your strength and your weakness, and they are trained in that 32 momentum type. As you read in the book already, Chris, you know that they use that to target you. So in the Kung Fu 1560, why I only choose that particular one? Well, the first one is in the chapter 7. The first is you need to know the psychology of fighting, right? The second is we need to know how to probe the enemy. The third is to ambush the enemy. The fourth example I show there with the combination is the arm, the long arm, right? Probing, like a jab, long distance. And then for the leg, the kick part, you can do the kick, the throw, and so forth. And then the rest is the ground kick going down. And then the short strike. So it covers the entire 4 momentum zone in that 6 example. And it covers how it play. And that is showing the example of the 4 fighting momentum zone. Well, one is in a serious problem if one have no idea that and never trained that way. So hopefully this is clear, okay? It's not that I say I am a Wing Chun, my grandmaster is Wing Chun or this and that, or I am this Kung Fu grandmaster, or I have the internal, or I have this mind power. It's not that. If you look into General Qi Ji Guang Q model or the chapter 14, or in the Kung Fu 1560, that is actually chapter 6. If you look into that, you can analyze everything in today's world. And you get a very quick snapshot what is going on there. Is this art is comprehensive, or this is not a comprehensive art? What is the strength? What is the uniqueness? It is a growing art, or it is a dead art. Chapter 6 or the Q model will tell you clearly. It's not my opinion. It's General Qi Ji Guang. They have this technology, but that's 460 years ago. And today, what do we have? Sorry to say, most don't know. And I don't know too. The issue is that I'm lucky to be able to track all this thing down, and that's why I wrote the Kung Fu 1560. If you don't know about that, how are we going to say anything? So right now there's a question: is 1960s Wing Chun or 1850s Wing Chun? You ask the question: can the training in the 1960s satisfy General Qi Ji Guang's Q model, or the 1850, can they satisfy it? That is obvious. And again, I want to make it clear, this is very different than usual people Chinese think about Kung Fu about 100 years ago, 100 years ago. Because many people, many Chinese, Kung Fu is just a Kung Fu in the village for against or the facing the common people, not trained people, not professional. So you have this Kung Fu, that Kung Fu, my Sifu teach me this Kung Fu, that Kung Fu. That is very different than General Qi Ji Guang, where, hey, I'm fighting the pro for life and death. And the other end is the Japanese warrior, okay? And it is my army. If they didn't come back, it's my responsibility. That's what General Qi Ji Guang's responsibility. So if you use that General Qi Ji Guang chapter 14, and you guys read the Kung Fu 1560, General Tang Sun Zhi, the Yi Da Yu, all those things, you look at how he angle in and so forth, as I show in the Kung Fu 1560. You use that level of as a standard, you look at most Kung Fu actually couldn't even touch it, far away. And so what is the real Kung Fu? Real Kung Fu is not that I just learn a punch and then I get aggressive and then just bully people. Real Kung Fu will be like in General Qi Ji Guang's, you satisfy the Q model of General Qi Ji Guang or chapter 14. Or else there's no Kung Fu. Okay, so using aggressions or healthy body or aggressiveness to beat up people is very different than be able to have all this training up to the momentum handling and so forth to handle a guy. Okay, so hopefully that I clean this up for you guys. Okay, again, it is not about that I am right. That's why again I'm gonna say this is General Qi Ji Guang. It's not me, but you need to have a standard. You cannot just do whatever you want. It's like you cannot say, well, you know what, I'm the grandmaster of this and that, and then I'm going to train my country's army. Are you kidding? What will the army is going to face in the real war? If we don't even know the momentum handling and so forth, like the Qi Ji Guang, how are you going to train army there? People get killed in the battlefield. And all general, maybe people look at generals, say, well, you know, this army general, they are macho and everything. Well, you just look at him. What is his responsibility? If his man doesn't come back, what does he feel? So we need to put ourselves in that position. No, it's not like, oh, let's go fight in the ring, okay, and nobody die anyway. You just throw out the white towel and that's it. But in a war, it's a different story. And you want to talk about martial arts? That's what martial art is about, not the sports. So hope that this is clear, okay? Anybody have any other questions? So Chris, hope that this is clear for you, okay? Or anybody, do you guys clear on what I'm just whining for past 30 minutes? So again, pressure test doesn't mean much. Well, Mas Oyama for Kyokushin, before he go to Thailand, he pressure test himself a lot in Japan. Look at Mas Oyama's prior to 1966 fight in Thailand. He pressure tests his sparring, but if he doesn't clearly know the details of the Thai boxers, will he be able to fight in Thailand? Will he be able to do that? So again, sparring and pressure testing doesn't mean a thing if you don't know what you are testing. And then back to Mas Oyama, and there's back to General Qi Ji Guang. So when I read General Qi Ji Guang, it reminds me Mas Oyama's teaching. And I'm pretty lucky. When I was young, I get my ass chewed all the time by my Sihan. It's exactly that. Okay. So hope that this is, you know, we talk about education, right? You know, we don't want to go fighting, but we know, is this a tiger or is this a leopard? If it is a tiger, even though we have experience with a tiger, pressure test with a tiger, sparring with a tiger, when it is a leopard, we better run. Okay, why? Because the leopard can go up to the trees and everything. It's a complete different type of games. So are you fighting tiger or are you fighting leopards? And then when you face a snake, there's a different stuff. So tell me, Wing Chun, is Wing Chun a leopard, a tiger, a snake? What is it? Duck's Dragon. So what is the relationship between 1850s Wing Chun and 1960s Wing Chun? How much was 1960s Wing Chun influenced by the 1850s version? Please watch my video a few days ago and yesterday. I talked about this 1850s Wing Chun and 1960 Wing Chun. Please watch that. That's a long story. And if you want details, go read my book, Restricting Wing Chun. And if you practice 1960 Wing Chun, then you can see what it is. But no matter what, Kung Fu 1560, that book is an extremely critical book for anybody who really want to research or study about traditional Chinese martial arts, be in the university or in the dojo or so forth. Because if we don't know that, there's no way what we can know what it is. Okay. Anybody have any question? So in a competition, if I lost to certain guy in the fight, I need to know where did I lose. Am I lost in the ground fighting zone, in the short strike zone, or in the long fist zone? I can lose in all those zones. That is depend on my skill and my opponent's skill. But I need to know which zone am I losing. And that's why the Kung Fu 1560s, you can see in chapter 7 when I put the example of General Qi Ji Guang, there's ambushing and probing there. People probing you. If you are good in the ground fighting, why should I go for ground fighting with you? But then there's a thing there. If you don't have the the functional training of the Q model, you just go linear. When your momentum is just linear, that means you cannot avoid ambush. Because people know you, they can read you. Okay, this is a linear guy. And I want to play different way. So if you look at the example of ambush in the chapter 7 of Kung Fu 1560, or the probing momentum, people probe you, people set you up. So it is this mature type of technology. It is not Kung Fu movie or sit down there, drinking some beer, in the sport bar. Oh, this guy is a good fighting. Okay, punch him. What are you talking about? Those are for entertainment, not for real. For real is like in the military. People die. So hope that this clear further for you that Chinese Kung Fu, it is a military-based stuff. That's why it is, if you have a full potential develop on the Q model, those are like the special force training. Now, but you cannot be like a villager. I know only these two techniques, and I'll tell you that, oh, my Kung Fu is very dangerous. Today it's like this. People have no idea on momentum, combination, everything, and they say, well, I know these two techniques. And then my Kung Fu is very dangerous, too dangerous for sparring. Well, what do you mean? You not even obey, you not even follow General Qi Ji Guang chapter 14. Didn't General Qi Ji Guang say once you learn the momentum handling, you need to test it? So, hope that this is clear. Any more questions? If there's no more question, then I call it off for today. Okay, looks like everything is clear now. So that's for today.